Welcome to Rock's Previews, Reviews and Excerpts. This is the excerpt from American Gods by author Neil Gaiman, narrated by George Goodall, published by William Morrow and HarperAudio. It is the opening scene of the book, and gives reader and listeners the first taste of the ebook and audiobooks. It is the first few minutes of the 20 hours and 53 minutes of the audiobook from Audible. Spoiler alert. Point of view: Shadow, Mr. Wednesday and Mad Sweeney. Shadow Moon, our main character, is at a diner with the man calling himself Mr. Wednesday when they run into a man claiming to be a leprechaun, Mad Sweeney. Unbeknownst to Shadow, these men represent the Norse, Mr. Wednesday, and Celtic, Sweeney, pantheon in a modern battle for power against the new gods of this world.
When she realized that Robbie was too drunk to drive, the scenario unfolded in Shadow's mind, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. Laura shouting at Robbie, shouting at him to pull off the road, then the thud of car against truck, and the steering wheel wrenching over. The car on the side of the road, broken glass glittering like ice on diamonds in the headlights, blood pooling in rubies on the road beside them. Two bodies being carried from the wreck, or laid neatly by the side of the road. "Well?" asked Mr. Wednesday. He had finished his steak, devoured it like a starving man. Now he was munching the French fries, spearing them with his fork. "You're right," said Shadow. "I don't have a job." Shadow took a quarter from his pocket, tails up. He flicked it up in the air, knocking it against his finger as it left his hand, giving it a wobble as if it were turning, caught it, slapped it down on the back of his hand. "Call," he said. "Why?" asked Wednesday. "I don't want to work for anyone with worse luck than me. Call." "Heads," said Mr. Wednesday. "Sorry," said Shadow, without even bothering to glance at the quarter. "It was tails. I rigged the toss." "Rigged games are the easiest ones to beat," said Wednesday, wagging a square finger at Shadow. "Take another look at it." Shadow glanced down at it. The head was face up. "I must have fumbled the toss," he said, puzzled. "You do yourself a disservice," said Wednesday, and he grinned. "I'm just a lucky guy." Then he looked up. "Well, I never! Mad Sweeney, will you have a drink with us?" "Southern Comfort and Coke, straight up," said a voice from behind Shadow. "I'll go and talk to the barman," said Wednesday. He stood up and began to make his way toward the bar. "Aren't you going to ask what I'm drinking?" called Shadow. "I already know what you're drinking," said Wednesday, and then he was standing by the bar. Patsy Cline started to sing Walking After Midnight on the jukebox again. The Southern Comfort and Coke sat down beside Shadow. He had a short ginger beard. He wore a denim jacket covered with bright sew-on patches, and under the jacket a stained white T-shirt. On the T-shirt was printed, "If you can't eat it, drink it, smoke it, or snort it, then fuck it." He wore a baseball cap on which was printed, "The only woman I have ever loved was another man's wife, my mother." He opened a soft pack of Lucky Strikes with a dirty thumbnail, took a cigarette, offered one to Shadow. Shadow was about to take one automatically. He didn't smoke, but a cigarette makes good barter material when he realized that he was no longer inside. He shook his head. "You working for our man, then?" asked the bearded man. He was not sober, although he was not yet drunk. "It looks that way," said Shadow. "What do you do?" The bearded man lit his cigarette. "I'm a leprechaun," he said, with a grin. Shadow did not smile. "Really?" he said. "Shouldn't you be drinking Guinness?" "Stereotypes! You have to learn to think outside the box," said the bearded man. "There's a lot more to Ireland than Guinness." "You don't have an Irish accent." "I've been over here too fucking long." "So you are originally from Ireland?" "I told you I'm a leprechaun. We don't come from fucking Moscow." "I guess not." Wednesday returned to the table, 3 drinks held easily in his paw-like hands. "Southern Comfort and Coke for you, Mad Sweeney, my man, and a Jack Daniels for me, and this is for you, Shadow." "What is it?" "Taste it." The drink was a tawny, golden color. Shadow took a sip, tasting an odd blend of sour and sweet on his tongue. He could taste the alcohol underneath and a strange blend of flavors. It reminded him a little of prison hooch brewed in a garbage bag from rotten fruit and bread and sugar and water, but it was sweeter and far stranger. "Okay," said Shadow. "I tasted it. What was it?" "Mead," said Wednesday. "Honey wine, the drink of heroes, the drink of the gods." Shadow took another tentative sip. Yes, he could taste the honey, he decided. That was one of the tastes. "Tastes kinda like pickle juice," he said. "Sweet pickle juice wine." "Tastes like a drunken diabetic's piss," agreed Wednesday. "I hate the stuff." "Then why did you bring it for me?" asked Shadow reasonably. Wednesday stared at Shadow with his mismatched eyes. One of them shadowed.
American Gods by author Neil Gaiman, narrated by George Goodall, published by William Morrow and HarperAudio, with another book excerpt. This has been Rock's Book Previews, Reviews, and Excerpts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Please utilize the links in the description to read or listen to this book if this has piqued your interest. Both these things help the channel and allow me to put out more videos. Thank you for staying all the way through, and see you next time through the wormhole.